there was this nice school that we were invited to shoot in Rajasthan. So basically it was designed by an American architect called Diana Kellogg. So I was in Jaisalmer, and actually I wrote to her. Yeah, see if you can put up any of the pictures. Yeah. So I wrote to Diana that, I saw this school. She had approached me earlier for a shoot, but I could not make it. I said I made a big blunder. I didn't shoot your building. But I'm going to Jaisalmer and I want to shoot it for you. She said it's okay. Like we can rehire you, and some American magazines want some photos. So why don't we? So when I reached the school, I just saw this small structure. I said, okay, yeah, it looks kind of nice, but I can just shoot this in half a day because it's just one small oval, right? It would be chokra hona tha there. So this guy who's there, Pratap Singh, if I remember or something, his he was the chowkidar of the school. I said, Pratap ji, बच्चे नहीं दिख रहे इधर, right? So he said कि बच्चे तो अभी कोविड अभी खत्म हुआ है तो कभी कभी आते हैं, स्कूल चालू है पर माँ बाप ज़्यादा भेजते नहीं हैं. सर कल थोड़े बच्चे आएंगे कि हाँ कल 15-17 बच्चे आने वाले. सर ठीक है मैं कल सुबह जल्दी से मॉर्निंग 6 o'clock I was there, 7:30 the kids came. And the moment the girls got out of this bus, they started running away, everywhere in the campus. So I said, इतने खुश क्यों है कि बिल्डिंग इनको इतना अच्छा लगता है क्या स्कूल? टीचर तो है नहीं अभी इधर कुछ. पढ़ना किसको अच्छा लगता है यार? Like if you ask me, school was not it's for not both of us, it's not the best. It was a great time because we had great friends, but it was not the best space to be in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But these girls are going around the school as if, they were in heaven, dौड़ चीज़, and they were, coming down the slopes, running on the top, and they था क्या नहीं बेकल्लक सुधी. And I have never seen such energy in the kids. I said, इतने खुश क्यों हैं ये बच्चे? I said, सर कोविड चल रहा है ना, बच्चे 2 महीने से घर थे तो इनको रोज मार पड़ती थी घर पे. Because that frustration, parents were taking out on the kids, they were closed. And plus they had to do some household work, and that whole frustration was coming out here. So they were on the 7th moon. And I said, boss, this is my story. I will shoot the architecture supporting the kids. So if I had planned it, I would have shot the school kya 3 વાગે આ shot થશે, 4 વાગે આ થશે, અહીંયા light આવશે. So I knew that because I'm an architectural photographer. I said, boss, 3 વાગે હું અહીંયા રહીશ. But my priority was to shoot these children. Right? So we just shot the joy of these kids. And basically we brought out that story, keeping the architecture in the backdrop. And basically that became the hero. And basically the school images are published all across the world now. I have also forgotten a count on how many hundreds of thousands of magazines they are on.
Yeah.
But it's the kids who made the story, right? So we reacted to what was happening. We didn't plan and tell the children कि आपको आना है, यहाँ भागना है, इधर खड़े रहना है, आइसक्रीम खाना है, वेफर खाना है, ऐसे क्लास में. We didn't tell them much. We let them use the architecture. And basically their story made our images.
So what is the relationship between people and places? How do they, of course, like the good photography is the both complement each other, but how do you as a photographer balance it કે જગ્યા એટલી સારી ના હોય પણ વ્યક્તિ સુંદર હોય કે મસ્ત હોય તો અલગ રીતે થાય?
See, what I feel is I like shooting people in most spaces because ઘણા architects અમને કહે કે માણસ રાખજે ફોટોમાં કારણ કે સ્કેલ મળશે. Right?
Yeah.
But I said, you can't use people to show scale in your buildings, right? People give meaning to spaces, right? Architects create spaces to celebrate life, right? But what if there's nobody to celebrate anything in it? There's no point of that building, right? ઘર તો બનાવ્યું, એ તો ખાલી પથ્થરનું તમે એક મકાન બનાવીને આપ્યું, પણ ઘર તો તમે બનાવ્યું જે રહે છે અંદર.
માણસથી બને.
પણ એને ઘર અગ્રીડ બહુ જ ઇમોશનલ વાત ને બહુ જ મોટી વાત છે કે માણસથી ઘર બને ને માણસોના ઇમોશન્સ અંદર નાખો એટલે એ જગ્યા whatever it becomes. But how do I show it in a photograph? That's the challenge, right? So basically we try and explore the relationship between the human giving the space some meaning or celebrating something or giving it function. And when that interpretation becomes clear, that's why I said I'm a very big observer of things. Right? So even if I'm talking to you, I can still observe what's happening around us, right? So, and you are hyper aware of કે પેલો કદાચ કંટાળેલો છે કે ત્યાં પતેન સાહેબ જાય તો હું ઘરે જાઉં, right? But basically when we are there, we are also observing કે આ છોકરો શું કરતો હશે. Like for an example, again, there was a friend of mine who designed a very nice a study room. અને મને કે આ સ્ટડી રૂમ તો બહુ જોરદાર છે ને કે એમાં બહુ સરસ. And the first light was to come there. તો એ સ્ટડી રૂમ મેં કે યુઝ કોણ કરે છે? તો કે એક નાની છોકરી કરે છે. મેં કીધું સારું, આપણે સવારે 7 વાગે આવીને ફર્સ્ટ લાઇટનો શોટ તો લઈશું જ, કમિંગ ઇન ટુ ધ સ્ટડી રૂમ. બ્યુટિફુલ શોટ, આર્કિટેક્ચર ઇટ વોઝ. એટલે એ નક્કી હતું, પણ મેં એને કીધું છોકરીને બોલાવી તો રાખજો સવારે, એ સ્કૂલ જવા માટે વહેલી ઉઠી જ જાય. તો મેં કીધું એને બોલાવી લીધું. તો એ છોકરી આવી, ચાલતી ચાલતી આવીને સ્ટડી ટેબલ મોડું આમ કરીને સૂઈ ગઈ. તો મેં એને કીધું કે આટલું સરસ સ્ટડી રૂમ બનાવ્યું, તને તો બહુ જ ગમતું હશે નહીં? મને કે મને તો છે ને બહુ કંટાળો આવે અહીંયા આવવાનો. મેં કીધું કેમ? તો કે યાર ભણવું હોય ને ત્યારે મમ્મી મારી મચડીને અહીંયા બેસાડે, એટલે મને તો આ રૂમ ગમતો જ નથી, આ તો પનિશમેન્ટ રૂમ છે. એટલે મેં આર્કિટેક્ટને કીધું લે તે મને કીધું ધીસ ધ બેસ્ટ રૂમ હતો હાઉસ, પણ આ તો ઊંઘી ગઈ. આઈ સેડ તું મોડું કરીને મોડું ચડાઈને ઊંઘી જા. એન્ડ વી ટુક ધ ફોટો લાઈક દેટ. સો દેટ વોઝ આર ઇન્ટરપ્રિટેશન ઓફ ધ સ્પેસ. શી ડિડન્ટ યુઝ ધ ટેબલ ટુ સ્ટડી, શી યુઝ ઇટ ફોર રેસ્ટ. અને જે 10 મિનિટની છોકરી નેપ મળી એ વખતે સવાર 10, શી વોઝ ઇન હેવન. એ તો તૃપ્ત થઈ ગઈ, બસ ઊંઘી ગયા. આપણે તો જીવનના બધા એમાંથી છૂટી ગયા. એન્ડ દેટ વોઝ માય ઇમેજ. Right? So basically we let people talk and do things and we just capture what's happening. Having said that, we are paid to show the project in good light. Right? So we also keep the architect's need in mind, and basically before every click we ask ourselves, why am I shooting? Right? That's the golden rule that my mentors taught me. You need to understand why you are shooting. Digital છે એટલે ધનાધન ઠોકી દીધું એવું નથી. You need to understand why I'm shooting. I am shooting this because this architect has created a space which looks very nice when you look out. So then you keep that in mind, you're shooting the space. Or I'm shooting this space because he created a fantastic bedroom with very merged 20 different materials, which is very difficult to merge. So then you're shooting according to that. Right? So you always ask yourself, but then you're always putting your style into whatever you're doing, and basically that... and we stay away from formulas. If a bed is shot at 45 degrees and looked nice in the last project, I will not shoot it like that in the next project.
So constantly challenging or trying to do things differently. Right. Sir, you said there is a magic that happens when you click a picture and you instantly know that this is the thing. More often than not, that magic is called talent, for a lack of a better word. Right? But then there is another thing called technique. So how can somebody strike a balance between technique and talent? How much weightage should be given to each?
See, I will not call it talent. I will call it being aware. Being aware to things around you is very important in photography, which I feel maybe most of us are losing in today's life. Right? એટલે આપણી જેમ આવી conversation થઈ where we have not looked into the phone for 20 minutes is also a rarity in these days. Right? આ તો માઇકો લાગેલા camera ચાલ, બાકી તો આપણે બેઠા બેઠા phone ઉપાડી. It's a big insult to each other. That does happen knowingly or unknowingly. But apart from insulting the other person, the biggest thing is you're insulting your own self by distracting yourself from that creative moment. So you enter a Zen space and you're waiting for the divine energy to come and do some magic. And when that magic happens, you are looking in Instagram or chatting to somebody on WhatsApp, that magic happened and went away. Right? So you were in a room where nothing was happening. Suddenly a gust of wind comes and it, the curtain flows and goes back and you capture that. What does it say? The room has good crosswinds. Pati gayi. And that whole dance of the curtain coming and going back, pati gayi. Right? But you missed it because you were looking into your phone. Right? So that whole idea of being aware is very important, which is the biggest thing that you need today. Let me tell you, in anything that you do. But apart from that, technique ni baat karu to better technique and better cameras are very important. I will not say that technology is not important. All of us have to have the best technology if we can afford it, and all of us have to have great knowledge of the technology. That does not help you to make good images. It does not result in greater image. Today, if I buy an XYZ camera, I'm not going to become a good photographer. But it makes the process of shooting easier. તો તમારી પ્રોસેસ ઇઝી થઈ ગઈ, તો મારે વિચારવાનું જ નથી. હું ગમે તે ફોટો લઈશ, પોસ્ટમાં તો કરેક્ટ થઈ જશે. એટલે આઈ કેન મેક મિસ્ટેક્સ. That helps me to be more hyper aware and make slight mistakes, but I get the moment correct. So today everybody is a photographer. Right? So there are more appreciators of art. More appreciators of photography, and that is why the whole onus and the secret to success is only observing the right thing and building the content. It's not about technique too much anymore. પણ ટેકનિક આવડવી જોઈએ તો તમારું બધું ઇઝી થશે. ઇફ યુ આર સ્ટ્રગલિંગ વિથ ટેકનિક તો એ વખતે ધ મેજિક વિલ હેપન ગો વેન યુ આર સ્ટીલ સ્ટ્રગલિંગ વિથ setting the basics of your camera, which is not right.